Hi, my name's Bo and I like to build stuff. Okay, I know that's not my intro, but it's true. I do like to build stuff, and today we're gonna make a VR headset stand just like this one. To build this, I'm using a piece of panel board that is 12 inches wide, and I need to cut two 7-inch segments that we're gonna use for the top and the bottom of the stand. I set the table saw to 7 inches to make the cuts, but you can do this with a circular saw or even a hand saw. Just remember, when using power tools, safety first. Always use eye and ear protection and a push block or stick to keep your hands away from the saw blade while it's moving. For the spine, I'm using a piece of 2x4, and I want it to be at an angle, so I started out by marking a 45-degree angle at the end, then measuring out 7 inches from the mark for a second angle. This should give us about a 5-inch lift that should accommodate just about any VR controller. On the table saw, I adjusted the guide to 45 degrees, lined the first cut with a saw blade, and used a clamp to hold the board in place. After the first cut, I slid the board down, tightened up the clamp again, and cut along the second mark. And now we've got the spine. With all the pieces cut, I did a quick sanding on the edges and sides to make them nice and smooth. The last thing I want is to get a splinter while I'm grabbing for a controller before a VR session. I then vacuumed the sawdust off of each piece and cleaned up the workspace. Since we're going to be gluing this together, we want to make sure the sawdust gets out of the way so our glue can hold nice and tight. Getting ready to assemble the stand, I marked the center of the spine about 3/4 of an inch, the bottom at 6 inches and down about 5 inches, and the top at 3.5 inches. These markings will help make sure that when we glue it all together, it's centered exactly where we want it. Now it's time to glue it all together. Starting with the top, I put a generous amount of wood glue along the line where the spine will connect. I then smeared the glue so it covers the full surface area, and did the same on the spine itself. From the top board, I angled the spine inward, then lined up the markings to make sure it was centered. I tried using clamps to help hold it in place while the glue set, but because of the angled spine, I couldn't get the pressure just right and it all fell apart on me. So on to plan B. Let's screw this thing in. I used a drill bit slightly smaller than the diameter of the screw to pre-drill a hole where the screw would go. I then used a drill bit about the size of the head of the screw and went about 1/3 of the way through the top of the board so I can countersink the screw. I put the screw through the top board, lined it up with the hole on the spine, then drove it through to lock it in place, checking to make sure that the markings were still lined up so it stayed centered. I attached the bottom the same way as the top, but this time with the spine angling out. I layered on the glue, pre-drilled the holes, then used a screw to lock it in place. For the final step, I tilted it on its face and applied a bit of pressure to make sure the top and bottom segments were aligned and not twisted. And here it is. It's not perfect, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. There's a few additional things that we could do to this. The screws that's holding it in, we could use a little bit of wood filler to fill that in just to give it a little bit more of a clean look to it. I like the wood look, so if I wanted to just keep that and maintain it and make it last a little bit longer, I could put some stain on it or something. May even do a couple of these with a nice little paint job. Audie does a really good job at some splatter paint. Maybe I can see if I can get her to put her artistic style on it. But this is it. We'll take it home, test it out, and put it in line, and I think I'm gonna make a few more of these to go alongside the others. Thanks for watching, y'all. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Drop us a comment down below if you have any questions about making the stand, and let us know what you wanna see us make next. If you wanna hang out with us live, me and Audie stream on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And come join our Discord. I'm entirely biased, but I think it's the coolest growing VR community out there. All right, y'all. We'll see you in the next one.